back to the Milwaukee Show, and today we are talking about the game number 4 between the Colorado Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets. And this series just keeps going exactly the way I thought it would, because every single person thought at the beginning of this series that this is going to be, this is the Jets, even spitting chicklets, every channel in the world, they were like, the Jets are on fire, right? They took everyone's criticism and blah, 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 they put it on the bulletin board, and they smoked the Avs in game 1, winning 7-6, this is their series, this is Canada's team, they're going to be the team to lift up Canada's hopes, right? No. You know why? Because this team, as I said, and I was right, is not built for the playoffs. They did the exact same thing last year. Sure, with injuries really crippled them last year, and they're still competing in these games, unlike how they did last season. But last year in the playoffs, they beat the Vegas Golden Knights 1-0 in the first game, and then they lost 4 straight to the Vegas Golden Knights. And it's the same story again. It's just when we look at the playoffs, right, you gotta have a dog, right? You gotta have some pit bulls on the team to win the playoffs. You need to have some clutch, hard-nosed, guys fighting for their lives, right? You have Kachucks, you have McKinnons, you have Kucherovs and Points, Gensels, you have Crosbys and Ovechkins, right? You have beasts in them, right? They go down the ice, they are playing for their lives. Patrick Kane's, you have all these guys. But when you look at the Winnipeg Jets, they don't lack those. They just don't have those kind of players. When it comes to defense, right? You take a look at the Avalanche, you take a look at the Lightning, take a look at the Blues, take a look at the Capitals, right? They all have those big two-way defensemen who can shut down the other team's best line on a 2-on-1. They can put points on the board, right? Take a look at Makar, Hedman, Pietrangelo, right? All these teams, even the teams that made it to the finals in the past, the guys like Montour, right? You have guys like Charlie McAvoy and Miro Heiskanen. You have these defensemen who can take their team to the final by putting points on the board, being workhorses, and just carrying the load and being such good players. And the Winnipeg Jets, they just don't have those dogs. They just don't have those true fighters in the playoffs to really dig deep and take them far. And that is why the Avalanche, game after game, are winning this series and are going to win next game in Winnipeg and take the series at 5. That is my prediction for this one. This team is that the Jets, they just don't have those hard-nosed, willing to take a hit, quick playing, fast enough to really turn it over. Because, what am I talking about? They do make turnovers, and that's the whole point. Colorado is playing their game. They're playing their game to a T. And everyone's saying Casey Middlestat is the new Nazem Kadri. I wouldn't say that far. Nazem Kadri was definitely his own player and was his own beast that could really own one line at a time for his team. I wouldn't go as far as saying that, but Middlestat is definitely coming into his own and really being that player that Colorado has been searching for, and he has fulfilled that role. He's not Kadri, but he's fulfilling the role of Kadri, right? And so that's paying off for them, and then it's just the biggest issue is that the Jets are playing fire with fire. That is what I've said every single game of this series, is that they are playing, instead of being, everyone in the comments below in my Winnipeg videos are like, no, they're the best defense in the league, they're gonna shut down Colorado's guys, they got nothing, they're gonna win 0-4 every game. No, it's the opposite of that, because they're instead of playing a defensive game, which they do have some great defensive pieces in, especially Connor Hellebuck. But the issue is that they're just barraged over and over again. Because the game of the Avalanche is paying off so well. They make turnovers happen so many times against the Jets. Because the Jets just aren't fast enough. They're not quick-paced enough. And they just don't have those defensemen in their own zone like Makars and Girards and Taves to really turn the puck around and get the puck out of the zone, right? They have Morrissey and Pionk and Dylan DeMello and Dylan. Just defensemen who aren't really those, and Schmidt, that aren't really those true turn it over, get the puck out, breakout kind of players. And the Avalanche are so fast and so pushing and so pressurizing and such an onslaught team that they pressure in behind the net. They forecheck, they make turnovers happen. And when you keep making turnovers happen and the top guys of the Avalanche are kicking, a goaltender is not going to, it doesn't matter if it's Vasilevsky, it doesn't matter if it's Connor Hellebuck, it doesn't matter if it's Casey DeSmith, it doesn't matter if it's freaking, who cares? Whoever, doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter who is in net when guys like Lehkonen, Nichushkin, Makar, and Nichushkin wanting a hat trick, McKinnon getting assists all the time. Like, it doesn't matter because the top offensive, the lethality of the Avalanche are just kicking. The top guys are producing. The whole team is forechecking hard. The depth is playing up to what they desired them to be. They are scoring on the power play. 2 power play goals tonight. Like, they are just getting their job done. The Avalanche are playing their game. And the Jets, they're just behind. They make turnovers, they panic, they take penalties, and when you take penalties and you're making turnovers, right, what does that mean, right? It means you're not in control, right? It's pretty damn hard to make a penalty, get a penalty when you have the puck and your team is playing offense, right? It's kind of hard to do that because it's pretty much the whole point of what a penalty is. And this team is taking penalties, they're creating turnovers, and it means they're panicking. It means they're panicking. They're trying to get control. They're shaky. They're off balance. They're looking for anything. They're just not doing it. They're not getting the job done, and they're not playing their game. Their game is a smart, like, rolling of 4 lines. You can go out there and pressure the other team. And then the defense is a pretty solid, like, stay-at-home defenseman. Nothing special, just pretty good, like, just stay at home. Hellebuck's going to eat the pucks. But the issue is that those stay-at-home defensemen, they're not that fast. They're not that skilled. They are big and strong, like guys like Dylan. But the issue is that they're not like, Dylan isn't Hedman, right? Dylan isn't like Owen Powers. Dylan isn't, even just comparing him to like the Lightning, you know? Like, they don't have Sergachev and Chernak, right? Where you got some big bodies, some big Eastern European kind of guys who can get their stick out there and just kind of like hold someone down and overpower them, right? Guy like Dylan is fine. But the issue is that it's the Avalanche, right? Lehkonen's going to go in, Dylan's going to try to go for the hit, but Lehkonen is going to go towards the net, feed the puck to the middle for a guy like McKinnon to get that quick shot off onto Laurent Brossoit or Hellebuck. And it's just over and over again. It's just these kind of games, then it's just, right now, so far in the playoffs, after everyone telling me, no, the Jets are a defensive giant, they're not going to let anything go in against them, right? Everyone telling me that. And then they've lost 3 in a row. In this series alone, what is it? The Jets have scored, like, what? Like, 1 goal, 7 goals, and I don't know. Like, the differential is huge for the Avalanche, and they are just buzzing. Everyone on this team is buying in. Everyone looks like a contender. And the Avalanche are really putting together quite a resume for me to start looking at them as a potential just cup winner this year. Because all the right pages are turning. Everything is going their way. And it just looks so good for them. The Jets, not so much. It's always the same thing with the Jets. Where they just... The lines that they roll out there, right? Like Connor, right? Kyle Connor is just not a Matthew Tkachuk. Mark Scheifele is a good playoff guy, but he just isn't like Jake Gensel. He isn't Braden Point, you know, who's going to really do it, whatever it takes to get the job done, right? They don't have Carter Verhaeghe. They don't have those guys. They don't have a Barkov and Forsling combination to shut down a pair of like McKinnon, Lehkonen, and Nichushkin going down the ice, you know? They just are missing those kind of players. And to me, it's just this series kind of wrote itself. Everyone was overhyped about them, how the Avs looked a little slow going into the playoffs. Guess what? That's what every team does. Every team goes down a little bit, and then they go back up. That's what the good teams do. A team like the Coyotes, they will have like their ups and downs throughout the year. They're kind of like middle, like in the playoffs, and then they fall off, and they just keep falling, right? A good team like the Avalanche, they have their huge highs. They get like, you know, them like the home streaks are so good, and then they got to come back down for those away games, right? And they were playing a lot of away games, and they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights going into the playoffs, and they lost to the Winnipeg Jets 7-0. And it's just like, that's a team going down, right? Look at like stocks, you know, it's the same thing. Things got to go down before they go up. That's how everything works. And the Avs, they went down a little bit, and they found their game again, and they're going right back up, and they might be the best team that they've been this entire season right now. So, for me, this series is going to wrap itself up pretty easily. I think it's going to end tomorrow night, And that is all I gotta say. So thank you for watching this. I'm sure if you're a Winnipeg fan, you're not very appreciative of this, but you should have known that this was gonna come, and you shouldn't have had such high hopes. So anyways, thank you for making it this far, and if you have, please, I'm begging you, please subscribe. Please. We're so close. Please be my 500. Be the 500. Don't even be the 500th subscriber. Be the 499th and 98th. Be that guy. Remember that when this channel is like up and away, is like past the hockey guy and those TSN bums, right? You were the one that got me to 500. Thanks to you. So please subscribe. Anyways, thank you for watching this. Until next time, too sweet. Have an amazing day. And ta-ta for now.